of play-in. So it's going to be incredibly fun to watch him play this game out, going up against ITZ.
And over on the other side, their opponents on ITZ, Redbert, Mikau, Envy, Sheeny, and Tay. We're into Champion Select to kick things off. Let's see what they're going to be banned and how they're going to be playing this one. Caitlyn and Lilia banned out on the red side here by ITZ. No surprise. I'm expecting a lot of draft presence from both of these champions throughout the entirety of Worlds competition. When you look across the board, you see the first ban coming out from the Mad Lions is the Bard. This is the most banned champion, period, against ITZ as a team. Oriana and Volibear also banned away.
I love the bans from ITZ on red side. Expect that to be a constant from Lilia and Caitlyn. I'm interested in Lucian. I want to see if teams prioritize it. It's a great flex pick. Also, I think there are a lot of great AP junglers, like, of course, Lilia that got banned, Nidalee, Evelynn, Karthus, Gragas that got buffed as well. There it is, first pickable. So, great first pick from Mad Lions. It's going to be really tough from ITZ to really figure out where it's going.
Exactly. The flexibility combined with the strength create an incredible threat here for this pick. Definitely glad to see it picked up early in the draft. Makes a lot of sense. Expecting to see more of it as we move forward here. But now ITZ has the next two picks. How will they respond? The Ashe locked in here. This has been a champion that we've seen plenty of throughout many different regions. Not surprised to see it locked in with the Caitlyn banned away. Has kind of been a staple of bot lane play here recently.
Yeah, Ashe is just insane. Even on red side, if Caitlyn is open, I know in a lot of playoff games around the world we've been seeing Caitlyn first pick. Ashe and counter-pick supports have been so damn good in terms of giving you priority in the lane, so expect a lot more Ashes, but man, Tristana being picked up by ITZ.
Marksman, marksman, marksman. The first three picks of this first game in the play-in stage, all marksman champions. It seems like the teams know what they want, and oh baby, Shadow picking up the Evelynn. Going true to his name here, prowling around in the jungle. This champ, when it pops off, can take over an entire game of League of Legends.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of Evelynn, especially in the LEC, especially from Selfmade. It's a pick that's being picked up more frequently. I already talked about the AP junglers that we've been seeing, especially in solo queue. Renekton rounding that up makes for a very strong top side of the map from Mad Lions. I think all of the preparation that they had coming into the group stage is showing out.
All right, one more pick from ITZ before we get to the second part of the bans. They know what their opponents have for solo lanes and jungle. It means we will be looking at bans towards the support and bottom lane roles most likely. Gragas locked in here for ITZ.
So funny enough, Shinny has received a lot of Gragas bans in CBLOL because that's a champion that people really know is his best, even out of meta. When people around the world aren't playing Gragas, in Brazil, they fear his. So the buffs that came into his armor, making it easier for him to clear out through the jungle, and even now knowing what his matchup is, so he doesn't have to fear for an Olaf that can really be a problem, makes it much easier of a pick, gives them an AP option so they can run Tristana mid into the Lucian. I think this is a great draft here from ITZ as well.
Thresh banned out as the first ban of this second phase down here. Neither side has a support locked in so far, so I am expecting to see a few different bans towards that role. Shen banned away from the side of, by the side of Mad Lions, excuse me. Shen has been one of those champions that we've seen quite a lot of success of. Back in North America, we got to see the resurgence of the power of River Shen in the jungle, and then in some other regions too. The champ also being very effective there in the top lane, so having that ban away, preventing Stand United from being on the map, I like to see it. Syndra, a staple of the mid lane, a champion you always see at the highest levels of competition in League of Legends, banned out by ITZ.
Also just a strong bot lane. Syndra here, you should fear it because if you put in Lucian in the mid lane, like, the damage spread is pretty good from Mad Lion's side. I think they're trying to aim for a Karma fourth pick, because Ashe Karma just secures yourself a bot lane shove. It also is great at being able to put down Ardent Sensor on either of your ADs. They do have to be concerned about having a front line. They do need it. Gragas can still be really squishy. Go straight into AP. Zhonya's is not enough. Nice lock-in here is going to be going towards Tay. That Urgot
picked up. Powerful, powerful capabilities there in the top lane. Can be a little bit slow to start, but once he hits that level 13 sweet spot and gets those low cooldowns on the shotgun knees, this champion can seriously tear up some fights. Jhin locked in on the side of Mad Lions. So there's our 4th marksman pick of the draft. Obviously, we weren't expecting the Lucian to go into the bottom lane here on Mad Lions, so we were needing them to pick up the AD carry that they're going to be taken into the bottom lane, and they pick up the Virtuoso.
Yeah, and they're going to have to just blind pick their support here. Thresh being banned makes it a little harder, but Kaiser has just had so many support picks throughout just the summer split of the LEC and also just in solo queue, so his champion pool is huge. Pantheon going to be a strong one.
Pantheon. This is a champion that there's been a lot of talk about recently. I saw even some fired up community threads on Reddit previously about the state of Pantheon and how effective he can be as a support. We know how effective the champion can be when you have the support item automatically leveling up through gold. Umbral Glaive is also an incredibly potent item for a low price point.
Yeah.
Champions like Pantheon can get a lot of value out of, and considering his E is a true invulnerability, he doesn't need a lot of economy to make it work. But hey, if we're talking about supports that have nigh invulnerability and are very effective at dives and tanking, Alistar also fits the bill.
Exactly. I think the clear compositions are there for both Mad and INTZ. For Mad, it's a strong snowball comp. It's also really effective in side lanes. You want to have the pure damage, Blade of the Rune King, Black Cleaver, Renekton on the side lane as alongside and Lucian, and have Evelynn try and hover. Meanwhile, INTZ, straight front to back. And in fact, they can burst people down. Tristana and Ashe damage is quite a lot, and you can just try and get them down to a great threshold for Urgot to burst them. So I'm liking what I see from INTZ if they can get the team fights going.
And one thing that I think is going to be a lot of fun to watch in this matchup between these two teams in particular, you look at Mad Lions and you see a team that wins explosively or loses explosively. This is not a CS it up, just wait and scale type of team. It's going to be about early aggression. It's going to be about trying to make things happen early on in the game. Across the board with INTZ, they have a curious sort of trend where the first 10 minutes of the game can kind of be whatever, but if INTZ really want to win and play a game of League of Legends that convinces you this is a real contender of a team, they're always going to have an explosive moment, this period from 10 to 15 minutes where they really start to take off. And I think that's what so much of this game is going to come down to, Raz, the 10 to 15 minute mark. Will Mad Lions have enough aggro and enough momentum built up there to crush that INTZ wind that comes forward? Or will INTZ be able to make that happen and bring about that potential win condition that we've seen in their games in their own region?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a David versus Goliath moment. I really also just love, if I'm supposed to favor one comp or another, I enjoy Mad Lions comp. I think Mad Lions comp is very easy to execute. They have strong lanes, and also they can play around their side lanes really effectively. Meanwhile, INTZ, you're right. I mean, past 10 minutes, it comes down to their setup around Drakes, Rift Heralds. If they can get the fights they want, then they can really snowball with the front line that they have.
Lots of frontline, also having the ability of the extra turret push power behind a champion like a Tristana does create a situation where if they have some leads, if they can approach that 10 to 15 minute window with some advantages and some momentum of their own, it will be easy to snowball that into some extra gold through taking tier 1 turrets, through looking for turret plates, talking about Rift Heralds especially. Combine a Rift Herald with a Tristana, knock down the first couple of plates there with explosive charge and auto attacks, let Shelly finish it off, money in your pocket, my friend.
Yeah, and I wonder, I mean, remember, this is first game of Worlds here in play-ins, and also there's some champion unfamiliarity. We haven't seen the Gragas in such a long time. Urgot as well, depending on the region, you haven't seen that in a long time. So there's going to be certain moments in matchups where you might slip up. There might be a moment in a team fight where you're not really sure how it's going to play out. These moments are moments where, honestly, INTZ can prey upon. So that's what's going to make it interesting for me. Remember how the groups play out? You're gonna only really face INTZ or Mad Lions. They're gonna face each other once.
Yeah.
So you only get that one opportunity in this specific matchup. If the upset happens, then that's that. You don't get your chance of redemption.
Yeah, single round robin doesn't mean you get to go back and watch the footage later and say, all right, this is how we'll adapt. It's all just about making that first curveball count. If that surprise factor is strong enough, it can give you the win. And in a best of one situation, that one win is enough. We are now on the Summoner's Rift. We're kicking it off. It's the first games of Worlds 2020 Mad Lions from the Mad Lions from the LEC going up against INTZ from the CB Law to break open this show. Tay walking into the enemy jungle here early on. Arome waiting around in that brush, has Shadow right behind him. Remember, when it comes to Evelynn, the first 5 levels don't really feel that crazy. Wants to hit level 6, get that camouflage so she can move around the map undetected and become that much deadlier. The champ is incredibly vulnerable if caught out of position or played sloppily with her engages and needs to find effective flanks.
Yeah, and also just the early game, at least the first 2 clears, going to be important just so you don't get invaded upon. An experience disadvantage. If you ever fall behind on an Evelynn, it can feel really bad, especially, you know, let's just say you get your Runic Echoes item. The next item takes a long time. It's literally a Rabadon's death cap, by the way. So you really can't fall behind here. So I love INTZ's level 1. Got a ward towards topside so they know where Evelynn is starting. That's where Renekton was going to look for a leash there, so they got that a bit of information. Gragas came back on the map, got his ward down, and he also now has Sweeper's Trinket. So it looks like they put a lot of effort here. I also want to make a point of, in terms of, there's some familiarity between both of these organizations. Peter Dunn, the coach of Mad Lions, actually worked with INTZ, worked with the coach Maestro, who is right now the head coach of INTZ, about a few years ago. So they know each other very well. They both speak highly of each other. Regional experts say a lot of great things about Maestro, because remember, INTZ at the beginning of the year actually had to fight for their lives. And they literally got put in the relegation tournament, went to full 5 games, had to really come together, come into the regular season as the 2nd best team, and then went up against Pain Gaming in the finals and really had a strong, they looked like the smarter team between the two and had a really strong showing. So this is a team that's constantly growing, constantly learning.
Yeah, when you look at sometimes the emerging regions and the top teams compared to the other teams present there, plenty of times in the past we've seen the story of a squad that is just dominant from start to finish. They're ahead above any of their competition, and international level is the first time they're ever really challenged. Well, INTZ, you already brought it up, but back in spring, they were in 7th.
Yeah.
They had to play through relegation. They came back. They're 2nd in the regular split in summer, and now they're here at Worlds, at the play-ins, taking on an opponent of a much higher caliber than what they would normally be used to in Mad Lions from EU. And for Mad Lions, man, remember, this is a team that came out of the gate swinging in Europe. Granted, they declined a little bit over time in terms of the season as things went on. They looked rougher in playoffs than they did in regular split play, but this is a team that impressed a lot of people. It's a very young roster, and with how aggressive they like to play their League of Legends, I think we can expect a lot of big moments out of them here in this tournament.
Yeah, and we're starting off pretty slow, but oh, he dashed in.
It's not going to be slow for very much longer. They keep doing that, my friend. Humanoid nearly finding the kill onto Envy. Now, Envy didn't use either summoner spell there. Sheeny also not having to use his own flash to get involved and stop Humanoid from getting the kill. Both of these mid-lane marksmen are running a flash, exhaust, press the attack loadout in terms of summoner spells and keystones, but Humanoid nearly put him in the dirt.
Yeah, Humanoid has a huge advantage here. Thankfully, of course, doesn't get stopped here. He's able to freeze the wave with the cannon minion there. And on top of that, he wasn't afraid of the gank that was coming through. He was actually playing the lane out really well, poking through the wave to get a lot of chip damage on the Envy. So, I mean, that was great from Sheeny to be hunting for the gank. Wasn't going to be possible, though, with Envy getting chipped out so low.
And here's an interesting thing. If you look at the itemization between the 2 mid laners here, you've got 2 Dorian's Blades in the inventory of Envy, but the Corrupting Potion plus the Pickaxe in the inventory of Humanoid. Meanwhile, we got a fight in the bottom side. Shouldn't turn into a whole lot more. Redbird's still hanging around here, looking to see if maybe he can get a little bit out of the trample. Kaiser tries to find a little bit. It's exhaust for exhaust in mid lane. Humanoid finding some damage, taking a little in retaliation, but Envy's still the one with the lower health bar. When you got 200 HP up against a Lucian, Mr. Razzleplasm, you are in danger in the lane.
Humanoid is just so damn good. Honestly, he's insane. It's a treat to be watching him during his play in the LEC and just how well he's able to play out this matchup. At least for the Tristana, the lane is pushing towards her because she was stuck in a pretty bad spot earlier. And it's now Sheeny just trying to hunt for this gank. Let's see if it can work. But Humanoid's not going to waste his dash needlessly, so it's very safe for him. He also has the pickaxe that probably is a great telltale that he's going towards Muramana, so he's going to be scaling up. It's a slow game. I think it benefits Mad Lions. The lanes have been looking really well from them. not just the mid lane, but also you've been seeing the priority that Karzia and Kaiser has been having in the bot side of the map. If they get a good back timing down there, then they can actually secure first dragon for their team.
Now with both junglers in the top lane, we could see a little bit of a battle here. CC coming through, dive going out. Tay underneath the turret gets charmed up. However, they don't have the health bars to continue the chase, continue looking to make the play here. Sheeny going in, goes for the body slam into the cask. They have applied the harpoon and Shadow. Oh no! What? That is a misclick that you are going to be feeling later on. Put the sad emote above your head. A tragic misplay for Tay.
You hate to see it. You never like to see that happen on the world stage.
No.
You were so close to being able to net that first blood. But that just was the worst misclick you can have, man.
If he would have not clicked that teleport, Shadow was so close to being dead to the execution from the Urgot ultimate. The Evelynn only level 5 with no ability to use the last caress to escape. Shadow is thanking his lucky stars he got away from that one. ITZ, they missed their opportunity for the first blood in the top lane. Not what they were looking for. We can applaud Sheeny for being there and setting up what should have been a kill, but unfortunately the misexecution is ultimately what it boils down to.
And it has a lasting effect. If it was just a harmless issue, then fine. But that's now no teleport. You lose an entire wave for that. And if Orome, of course, is just going to be walking back to the lane, that's now TP advantage for Mad Lions. I already said that they had an opportunity to go for first Drake here. Now it's just not going to be even contestable for ITZ for it.
And when you look at ITZ, how this team wins their games, how they like to play, their solo lane in mid and top have the highest solo kills of anybody in their region. These guys like to make the game a little bit bloody. They like to do some of the carrying work here for ITZ. And now that Tay has lost those resources, he doesn't have the teleport. He missed out on the opportunity for that kill. That is weakening that win condition. It is weakening how they like to play. We are 1 minute and 45 seconds away from that critical 10 to 15 minute window that I mentioned too, that is often so important when you look at whether or not ITZ finds success or failure in a game of League of Legends. So as we get closer and closer to that, make sure we're watching what ITZ does as a team because of the importance of that 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's good to point out something that I've noticed for ITZ. There are a few teams that, you know, when I prep for before game day, I want to see if they play respectfully on their side lane, as Envy's getting a lot of damage down by the culling.
Yeah.
Just watching out just in case. But for me, ITZ are a team that they want to fight and they want to utilize their top laner. There'll be times where they might even lose top lane wave because Tay does something like this, where he wants to look for an opportunity where Mad Lions think that they have a numbers advantage or even numbers, and they turn it on a dime. So if Mad Lions can play respectfully here, if Orome just makes a point to the team that I don't see where my top laner is, just be careful, then great. What ends up happening is then Tay just loses another wave. There's another opening, another window for Orome to, you know, roam himself. So I love the fact that Mad Lions are taking this game nice and disciplined.
Mad Lions mid laner, again, always ready there on that dash. Relentless pursuit becoming more of a relentless retreat to make sure that Tristana can't get any extra damage onto him here. As Shadow is working on the Rift Herald, he's spotted out. They see what he's up to here. You can see the Scryer's Bloom also keeping an eye on that ward. That one will decay now, but Sheeny will just take his red buff away. Considering Humanoid is moving over to the Rift Herald now, it's going to be a 3-man attempt on this objective from Mad Lions. Doesn't look like it'll be contested here at all. And since we are just at 10 minutes, Raz, that means that 99% of the window of using this Rift Herald will still get the Mad Lions plates. They have plenty of time to use it in that time frame and still get that bonus.
Yeah, and here's the thing. That entire play, for YouTube users, please replay it. That's a set play that the best teams are able to utilize. Because while you see it and say, well, Shadow's doing it alone, Humanoid is shoving out through mid, the most important factor is bot lane basing. That Kaiser recognizes that he has a push through bot side. He can base, come through mid. He's able to be there just in case the fight happens, and a fight's gonna happen top lane.
Tay in some trouble. CC coming down, damage going through. First blood for the Mad Lion.
Too much to take. The entire time, Tay has been just taking hurt after hurt. Jungle comes topside, way too much burst, and that's a first kill coming over to Mad Lions.
This is what Evelyn can do, sneaking into a lane, setting it up, and facilitating the damage. When Renekton engages with a point-and-click stun, it is oh so easy to follow up. And with Tay in the ground, man, Tay is now down 25 CS. The Renekton getting the kill money for the first blood as well. Life is about to get more difficult in the top half of the map for INTZ. Mad Lions commanding a 1,500 gold lead here.
Yeah, gold disadvantage just across the board. Bot lane, understandable. It was just going to be a tough one just because Alistar versus Pantheon is difficult early for the Alistar. Of course, scale is better, but have been getting pushed in. Also, Shadow's been hovering for them consistently. Humanoids has been a boss so far this game, absorbing so much pressure. Now, of course, it's an unfortunate base timing. They're going to be losing Dragon, but it's just a Cloud Dragon. Overall, Mad Lions are just really happy about how the map state's been playing out.
Honestly, this is a very late first Dragon, too. 12 minutes into the game for the first Drake. This is not a lot of prioritization towards this target. Could be the fact that it's a Cloud Drake and it's not that great early on. Damage onto Kaiser coming out there. Sheeny looking for the solo kill here. Kaiser buying himself a little bit more time, flashes over the wall, goes for the stun onto Envy, who knocks him away and finds a kill. Now the game is tied up at 1-1. The Evelyn goes in, looking to find some sort of a play, but Sheeny's into the stasis, flashing over the wall, keeping himself alive. Nice arrow coming through, not nice enough. Humanoid puts a couple bullets in his back, and now another kill is going through. Into the grinder goes Shadow. The teleport is not gonna screw it up this time. Urgot gets his revenge.
Mad Lions want to fight back. But it's nice to see INTZ just going tit for tat here, able to catch Shadow out with a great run around the back by Redbird. Redbird just finds himself in the enemy jungle just for that flank.
No reason not to get yourself involved in any fight you're near. Let's take another look at how it started here with Sheeny running into Kaiser.
Yeah, perfect place at the perfect time. Able to get the kill, of course. But, of course, Kaiser made them work for it. Great flash W on towards the Tristana just to see if he can make it work. Also gets closer to Shadow so they can at least get a response kill in the enemy jungle. TPs come down, and it just shows that both teams are laying it all down on the line. They don't want to lose a game, a best of one, by the way, to just a play like this, so they all double down for the play.
And honestly, Sheeny ending up in the way of the execution from Shadow's Evelyn. He tried to go for the flash in the proc of his charm into the instant last caress to just make sure he insta-kills his opponent. That not working out made that fight as fair as it was. Now in the top lane, we've got a couple of different players from INTZ looking to get themselves involved. That Rift Herald was just about to expire. It had to be summoned right now. There was about 15 seconds left on the timer. If they can get the charge off, Shelly is wasting time. INTZ have managed to hold Shelly off for maybe long enough.
There we go.
My goodness. They held Shelly off, and she hits the turret at 14:01. No plate money in the bank.
Just like that, enough time. Remember the first gank that they had top lane when they were able to get the kill on the Tay? They didn't want to put down Rift Herald immediately because they didn't want to just do it for the plates. They wanted to be able to get the full turret as well, the full setup.
Well,
of course, they weren't able to get it.
They ended up trying to be a little bit greedy for a little bit of extra success, and they end up missing plate money by 1 single second. Look at this turret plate count, kind of describing the pace of this early game. It's very slow from both sides. A single turret plate taken in the first 14 minutes between both sides in this game. That one, of course, belonging to Mad Lions, who are still about 2,000 gold ahead. 40 CS lead in the top lane for the Renekton over the Urgot, about a 30 lead in the mid lane for Lucian over the Tristana. The solo laners of Mad Lions just very quietly building up impressive leads for themselves.
Yeah, while that's true, I'm really impressed that INTZ are keeping up. And there's a lot of faith with how they want to play out their comp as well. We already saw how difficult it was for Shadow to be able to get an assassination, or honestly just to even play a team fight out, with Exhaust being there from Envy, and on top of that, the bulky front line being able to shut him down. So Mad Lions want to spread him out. The fact that first Dragon went over to INTZ is going to actually bite Mad Lions in the long run, because if we start getting Dragon stacking here from INTZ, Mad Lions are going to have to respond, and that's not how they want to play out their comp.
Next Drake will be spawning here 1 minute from now. Infernal Drake, the first one was already Cloud, means we're going to get an Ocean or a Mountain Soul. So no matter what it is, the Soul will be very defensively focused. As Karzi pushes up the bottom lane here with plates already out of the picture, the Jhin will be able to take that one down just like topside Envy. I mentioned in draft how effective the Tristana can be in these situations. Shadow coming around from behind. INTZ's top laner trying to get himself away. Very nice arrow onto Humanoid, nearly killing him off. A beautiful shot from Tay.
Get over here! That was a play being started by Mad Lions, by the way, and not only were they able to get Humanoid's flash, they got his life as well.
Such a good arrow right at the edge of the turret range. Make sure that Humanoid ends up getting punished for the attempt at the turret dive coming out from Mad Lions. They lose their mid laner. INTZ makes the moves, and now INTZ are on the Rift Herald. The Drake is still not spawned here for another couple of seconds. They're able to take this objective. There is no contest from the side of Mad Lions because Humanoid is only just now responding. That's some good moves coming out from INTZ as they also take the top lane tier 1.
Yeah. Cap, we got a problem.
All right, we got a problem. Describe the problem to me, my friend.
Like, remember, hearing from the desk, talking about INT's greatest moment in Worlds being able to take down EDG. We're getting to that point where Mad Lions are just responding to, or at least no, INTZ is responding to Mad Lions punch for punch. I have sung the praises of Kaiser, his movements and, you know, walking towards the play. Redbird has matched him 2 times already. Not in just the top lane play, but also, of course, when they were trying to dive the Urgot in mid. So it's getting slow. Mad Lions, I hope they're not getting frustrated with how the game's been playing out. They've been trying to make plays happen, and they haven't been going in their favor. In fact, just adding to that point, if the teleport didn't happen, you know, I don't always want to harp on it, that would have been even better for INTZ's play. So they're still in it. I'm loving what I see from this team.
I'm loving the fact that Tay had probably the worst botched execution that could have possibly happened for a first blood in the top lane. It had no effect on his mental whatsoever.
Yeah!
Now 2-1 and 0 and has managed to land some very effective ultimates to guarantee those kills for his team. This Urgot is a champion of mental warfare, my friend. The teleport was just trying to make it fair for his opponents. But looking at those opponents, that Renekton is so damn strong. Arome, he has the Black Cleaver already done, has had for a while, getting closer and closer to the completion of the Blade of the Ruined King. When this Renekton dives into the fight, look at the targets on the enemy team.
Yeah.
You've got 2 different marksmen and a Gragas with a Runic Echo and a Sorcerer's Shoe.
These
guys are not going to survive.
It's not. They're just not. And also take a look at how Mad Lions are getting vision. This is just going to be a dead cow.
Oh boy, Redbird, he pops the ulti. He's trying to stay alive, finds the knockup onto Arome. Redbird getting himself away. It might still be beef for dinner, I'm not quite sure. Nice interrupt there on the Jhin ulti. Mad Lions will not find the kill onto the INTZ support.
But you have to watch out for how Mad Lions have been getting control, and they've been getting it through Humanoid's lane. We talked about how Shadow is going to be, you know, shadowing for Humanoid at all times. If they're going to be playing side lanes, that Tay, or Envy that is, has to respect Humanoid's positioning, that he's going to have a numbers advantage, you just may not see it. And so when you're getting them the full respect, then they're just going to be walking with Kaiser to get full control through the river. It almost amounted to a kill on towards Redbird.
Oshini, Shadow showing up from the side, but the turnaround play. Redbird joins the mix now, finding some stuns down onto Shadow. Oh my goodness, the last caress necessary to get him away from the cask that likely would have just killed him off.
Yeah, a bit of a botch play. Ends up being a flash from Shadow. I'm trying to figure out what these teams are playing for. I know for sure INTZ are looking for mid lane turret, and they should be able to get it knowing that they pushed Shadow off. So, might be able to get
nice
the kill.
Stun. There we go. Follow up with the flash, and Urgot yet again. He's gone fishing, boys. He's landing the ultis every single time, and INTZ, they take the turret with 2 on the side.
They're breaking the door down in the first day of Worlds, first game, against what people would believe to be the best team in this group.
Very impressive stuff from this INTZ squad responding to Mad Lions. The arrow execution from Mikal, the follow-up from Redbird, flashing in for the Alistar combo to facilitate the kill and provide the time for the rest of the team to jump in there. Nice response from Mad Lions. They see that INTZ is back. They grab the mid lane tier 1 turret. Let's take another look at the fight here and the kill onto the line.
Straight onto him. I mean, and it's so easy to play it out to immediately exhaust the Lucian and clear the way so the Urgot ultimate can land straight on top of him. I think we already talked about how easy it is to run this composition from INTZ once you group up and how difficult it is for Mad team. Like, if Mad Lions have to play towards them, it's really difficult, but they found somebody.
Redbird is in a pretty bad spot. The Alistar ulti makes you tanky, but not tanky enough. Kaiser with a well-timed E keeps himself alive, and now Mad Lions are going to make it 2. They see the fact that INTZ are setting up the plays, and they say anything you can do, we can do better. 2 for free for the Mad Lions, and now they've got control over the mid lane.
Yeah, just as we're singing their praises, you need to have that consistency because this is a really bad timing to lose 2 of your members. I was thinking about if they were going to be looking for this mid lane turret, they might be anyways, but the major objective that they're playing for is the Ocean Dragon. It's an Ocean Soul, by the way, and INTZ were looking to stack that. So the fact that they came out with such a huge play mid lane, and then now they've just took 2 steps back.
We're also getting closer to the point, you already mentioned how Evelynn can kind of have this weird power spike where if you fall behind it feels bad because you go with a hat second item and it takes so much gold to get. Well, sir, League of Legends has taught me, in order to make a hat, you've got to have 2 sticks. There are 2 sticks in Shadow's inventory, and that means all he has to do is pay the shopkeeper to put them together into some fancy headwear, and all of a sudden, this Evelynn's going to be doing that much more damage. Humanoid with a flash away, but now the fight's going to turn back against INTZ, and with Envy out of the picture, surely they're going to have to run all the way home. Redbird's eating the bullets coming out from Humanoid. It's the Jhin able to find the double kill, and Carzzy is crazy, baby. Evelynn going in, able to find some damage with the last caress, and INTZ run away licking their wound.
The snowball is starting to come, and Mikal had to flash away from the Jhin W because it was the Evelynn ultimate that really targeted him. This game is getting out of whack right now. Mad Lions has set their vision. INTZ are not necessarily respecting it, and there we have it. This could be a Baron here for Mad Lions.
Baron attempt from the Lions. Already got it down below half HP. Tay coming in around the corner, but they're already ready. The Mad Lions have set the trap for their prey, and his name is Tay, but he's coming around and he's found 2 kills. Double kill to the INTZ top laner. Over the wall, he might be able to go. He shoots it in, but he will not steal. Humanoid secures the Baron, but 2 members of the Mad Lions are dead. They underestimated the power of the Urgot. Remember level 13, Raz. This is the critical point of Urgot when the shotgun knee passive is on 2.5 seconds, and the champion cannot be underestimated.
Humanoid flashes at the perfect time, and Envy was just caught off guard, not respecting, of course, the positioning of the enemy team. And at this point, it's just so hard to play it out. Oh, yeah.
We've all been there. Every single person ever played League of Legends has felt that expression deep down before, as the Ocean Drake is now being taken by INTZ. Remember, this is not anywhere close to a soul for either side. It's still only a 1 to 2 Drake count because of the fact that the first ones went 1 to each side, so not resulting in a win condition here anytime soon, but it is 1 step closer there for INTZ. But remember, Mad Lions are still wearing purple right now. Mad Lions can still be the ones looking to make some kind of a move. Ash Arrow will not find a target. Sheeny also using the Predator there, being ready to catch up if it did connect. But now that that big engage is down, they don't have that go button.
This is bad.
ITZ are falling back.
I'm pretty sure Shadow saw him.
Oh, the go button's coming out anyway. It's Redbird leading the charge. He's in the front line, going to be taking up some damage, but now Kaiser's also got to be worried. Humanoid coming in from the side, able to find the kill onto Mikal as Sheeny gets a kill onto Kaiser. Last caress says goodbye, Alistar. See you later. Envy trying to walk away. The Jhin bullets are flying, but nobody's dying. INTZ. 3 men left alive. They're walking back to the base. It's a 2-for-1 overall. Carzzy still looking for the deadly flourish. Tier 2 turret down in the mid lane. Baron buff still enchanting the remaining players on the push here for Mad Lions. They will knock down this Tier 3 turret and expose the mid lane inhibitor.
Man, INTZ just doubling down. Without Baron, face-to-face with Mad Lions, they still think they can win these fights. And even just seeing what Envy was seeing, being at a flank position is always really risky, by the way. If you're trying to play around Fog of War, you don't know where Evelyn is, so you run that risk that she sees you in line bush. They go for the engage at the end, but it's just so easy to pile on damage on towards Redbird. And my god, Humanoid finds that assassination.
Well done by Humanoid, dashing in so aggressively to kill off the enemy AD carry at the very start of the fight. 0, 1, and 5 for Macau. Hasn't got any of the kills for himself yet, but has been instrumental in setting things up. Kaiser walking a little bit close to the rush, but look at the amount of time he was able to buy utilizing the defensive power of the Pantheon. Now Humanoid's in a bad spot. Now Humanoid's going to be taken down, and now Tay is on the hunt. Flipping the Evelyn behind him, looking to walk around, able to find the kill, making a double, over to Tay, looking to grab even more. It's a triple kill for Urgot. There's that cooldown I am talking about. The damage is way too real.
And we're back on the map. It's that champion unfamiliarity that is making it work for INTZ. Because if you saw the beginning of the fight, Kaiser's patting himself on the back. I just absorbed all that damage. I found all 5 members, guys. We know where they are. Like, ordinarily, from that point, you'd want to push out mid lane because you just squashed their play.
Yeah.
But Humanoid found, gets picked off. It was INTZ that saw him in that split second, found that pick, and then were able to snowball it into a teamfight win.
Tay has 8 kills. It doesn't matter that he was down 50 CS at one point. He's got 8 kills. Let's take another look at it.
Oh, it's his point of view, too. The moment he sees that Ashe ulti hit, gets right in. And he wants that fear to hit Evelyn as well. And this is the most satisfying moment in League of Legends, my friend.
The damage.
It's huge.
He's shredding people. All right, Mad Lions. Gonna have to be a little bit more careful to prevent these kinds of situations. Urgot has become the name of the game. And Raz, look at that damage dealt. 2,649 in that fight. Redbird the one tanking some damage here in the mid lane, but the Alistar does have the get out of jail free card there with the ulti. Tay has Edge of Night and Guardian Angel next to that Black Cleaver. Some lethality to complement the percent-based armor penetration, and the fact that even if you kill him, you really didn't kill him, at least until he's already dead once. You got to go through this man twice, and it is so hard to kill him even once.
Yeah, you really need the poke to begin, like a culling first that can really soften up INTZ before the play happens, before you really feel comfortable taking the team fight. Now, being able to take down Alistar's ultimate is really a good job well done, because you're setting up for the Ocean Dragon. You don't want to have INTZ being on Ocean, Soul Point.
Oh
no!
Parzi gets hit with the arrow there. Follow-up cask isn't going to do a lot from the Gragas. That's 2 pretty big ultis used, and that Ocean Drake will be spawning here in 40 seconds. Shadow off to the side. Redbird still doesn't have the ulti. The damage is coming through, and here comes your go button. It's Mad Lion saying it's time to fight, but it's support for support traded off. Arome's got the Dominus working. He's building up the Fury, but there's no way for him to enter into the fight. Tay is still this wall that just cannot be reasonably passed through.
If you're INTZ, you're happy about this, because this is Mad Lions trying to take advantage of the cooldown that Alistar Ultimate had. They thought they could burst him fast enough, but they ended up losing Kaiser, and now they're forced into 4v4 position. I'm happy if I'm INTZ. You have your best chess piece in Tay, who's leading the charge to fight for this dragon. Oh, wait a minute.
Here you go. Drake taken by the side of Mad Lions. Nobody from INTZ even in the ballpark. Man, forget the ballpark. They're not even in the neighborhood. The Drake goes over for free to the side of Mad Lions, and the Drakes are all tied up at 2-2.
Maybe they weren't confident because they didn't have Ash Arrow for it at the beginning. Remember, he had to use it at the very start of that last fight.
Yep.
That's possible. A lot of the times you just don't have that clear-cut engage. Then you don't want to put it to chance into Fog of War, so I can respect that.
And as we've been talking about this game and sort of the back and forth nature of the fights, because when you look at the kills, it is 11-12, so lots of even trading happening over the course of this game. But the gold has been, as you just saw with the graph, always on the side of the Mad Lions, up to a 4,500 lead. It's been over 5,000 at some points in this game, and the team has maintained that.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that INTZ have been finding some plays, particularly around Tay, they still have this gold gap to close. They still have to figure out how to translate these kills into something else that is tangible. Humanoid not really too concerned about getting engaged on here. He is the Lucian. He has the Relentless Pursuit to get away from the arrow if they try to engage on him. Redbird going after an engage of his own, trying to stay alive, using the ulti here. Shadow on the chase, looking for the damage.
Oh no!
Macau, and Shadow is down. It's a 1-for-1 trade as Envy tries to escape away from the curtain call. Flashes out. Tay's Guardian Angel is procced. If they're able to kill the Urgot, this is huge for the Mad Lions. Tay's in the middle, but Tay is gone. Mad Lions are able to find 2. Mad Lions looking for even more. Arome dashing forward, Macau kiting back. Here comes the Pantheon, and Kaiser wipes him from Summoner's Rift. Now chasing further after Sheeny. The body slam over the wall, but a huge fight for the Mad Lions.
A great pick from Mad Lions. It was really dicey because they could not go to the bot lane wave. They had to respect the positioning that ITZ had on Baron. If they had even decided to send one member there, that's a really fast Baron take from ITZ, by the way. Their comp has so much damage across the board. Ended up taking that fight, and now should be a Baron for Mad.
Mad Lions working on that second Baron of the game. Remember, the first one was a little close. It looked like it almost got stolen away. They also had to trade 2 of their players for it. Sheeny's coming around from behind, looking to maybe get involved here. Redbird wants to at least try to save him. Sheeny has to body slam away Redbird with the flash over the wall. And it's INTZ who end up just losing resources for this attempt. Tay also using the teleport to try to get there in time in case there was a winnable fight, but it's just not the case. Mad Lions doing some good work. Let's take another look at the replay of the previous fight.
Yeah, I didn't get to see what made it go so wrong for INTZ here because it was a free pick on towards the Evelynn. Yeah, the Alistar was definitely free for the pickings here. Even though Macau couldn't get a lot of good damage off because he was having to deal with Shadow, at the end he did buy a lot of time there, but I mean INTZ, Tay is just really pretty squishy. And I think that's the problem here, is that if he's just taking free damage without his team really being able to all in, then you're just in a really tough spot.
The tough spot gets tougher as the Mad Lions build that gold lead up to over 8,000 gold. With the team buffed up with Baron, with this sort of an incredible gold lead, I expect this base to take a lot of hurting on this Baron buff, Raz. The mid lane inhibitor is exposed. The Mad Lions can force a fight on open ground, not near a turret next to that if they so choose. However, there is still 1 turret standing in the tier 2 line here in bottom lane, which pretty much just should be free gold here for the side of Mad Lions. Mid lane, arrow coming. Oh my goodness gracious! He used the ulti backwards and the damn thing still hit him. Shadow gets picked in mid lane thanks to the Ash arrow. The hitbox for the arrow, I believe, is slightly behind where the arrow's tip is located. And it meant that although Evelynn jumps back, she still gets hit after the ult.
And you saw him crumbling over in the player cameras there. He's like, no way that hit me. Insane that that's a kill now. 24 seconds off the map. That's their Baron play. I didn't initially like their Baron setup on the map because they can hard 1-3-1 it with the Renekton and Lucian. They don't necessarily have to only play through 2 lanes. It just seemed like they wanted to all in on the Dragon setup. They wanted to keep their vision there. They do have a lot of great purchases, double QSS on their carries and Karzi and Humanoid, and also Humanoid was able to get his IE. He is just outputting so much damage now.
Redbird goofed the combo there a little bit, and now he's going to pay for it with his life. Culling plus curtain call, and the ultis are enough. There's so many bullets flying, you would think it was Call of Duty. Humanoid jumping forward. There comes your lockdown. There goes your kill. Pantheon coming in on the wings of a dragon, jumping in to join the rest of the squad, and the Mad Lions are on a victory push. There are 3 players left alive on INTZ. The Mad Lions are pushing down the mid lane as a unit. Renekton activating the ulti, charging up the Fury, ready to go here for the fight. It's a 5v3 as Shadow has finally caught up to the rest of the squad. Already 1 Nexus turret gone. There's your initiation from Kaiser going on to Envy. INTZ, they're still alive for now, but they've lost their Nexus turrets. It's Mad Lions onto the Nexus. It's Envy down. It's Shadow with the kill. And that is it. The first win of the play-in stage of Worlds 2020 goes over to Mad Lions.
It was a hard-fought victory, Cap. That was a tough one. A lot of respect to the crew over there, CBLOL INTZ. Really putting in some work, but Mad Lions were the more consistent team, finding picks through the mid lane constantly. So you gotta feel bad if you're ITZ, but ended up getting that win here if you're a team coming out from the LEC.
Yeah, the LEC 4th seed, this rookie squad. Remember when this team rebranded from Splice to become Mad Lions at the beginning of this year, the roster blew up.
Yeah.
Humanoid's the only guy here that's not a rookie. And he was really important for the wins that they were able to get. The Lucian with the dash over the wall in the back end of the fight to assassinate the Ashe in that one mid lane fight. His powerful laning that built him